Lumo is a brand new rail service from London to Edinburgh, calling it Stevenage, Newcastle and Morpeth. 100% electric trains, 400 seats, a million extra seats in the market a year. We were given the brief to reimagine rail, and we tried to reimagine rail and do it completely differently than everybody else has done before, as far as one possibly can.
So this is really aimed at adding to the railways, okay, not abstracting from anybody else. We're aiming to bring people in from air and stop people doing domestic flights. So 56% of the flights in the UK are between London and Edinburgh. What we're trying to do is say there is a relative alternative to this, which is just as good, just as efficient, and it's better for the environment. So it's 6 times better in terms of your carbon footprint. Now, to do that, you've got to give the customer everything they're looking for to make the swap. And there's a list of things we've done. So basically, first of all, the fares need to be fair. So, if you want people to do this, then you've got to make sure that the price is at the right level, and that's why 60% of our fares are under £30 if you book through our website. So again, getting that element in place and making sure it's properly done. The second is actually about the train itself. So people want to be comfortable. If you're going to travel 4.5 hours, you've got to be comfortable. So we have invested a lot of time and money in the seat, which was built by Transcar. It's designed so that actually it's better for your blood circulation, a little bit more leg room, also important, but also the ability to have some space to work, with a mixture of light settings at 3 different levels, so that's nice as well. Ambient lighting, which changes through the day, and the driver can also alter on there. So we spent a long time getting that design with sort of like well-being at the heart of it. We then added on top of that the ambassador service, because we realised actually on the airlines you're quite well served. They're great, the hosts and hostesses. So what we've done is we've designed our service to actually use technology so that we know who we're dealing with, can make them comfortable at the seat. All our ambassadors have got a tablet on them so they know what they're doing, and effectively they can move through the carriage and offer a very high level of customer service when they're on board and look after them in that way. So we then end up with a situation where we can say, well, why wouldn't you? It's 4.5 hours, you're going to be comfortable when you do it, it's really good value for money, and you're not hurting the environment. Why do you make the change?
Our brief, if you like, our vision was to reimagine rail. So we're trying to do that at every opportunity we have. So all of our customer propositions are geared towards reimagining rail. There's a huge market to go after. Before COVID, 74,500 people were flying between London and Edinburgh. A huge market for us to go after. A mark of our success would be growing the rail market and bringing those customers who previously have got the coach or chosen to fly between the cities. As we welcome those customers, and also we're launching at a time of an improving situation post-COVID, where we're encouraging customers who haven't travelled for all the reasons we're well aware of over the past 2 years, year and a half, to come back and travel with confidence. We want to give them confidence. We've really looked at the customer journey, all of the pain points that annoy customers, that tick customers off, and then all the moments that matter, the things that really win customers, the things that delight customers. We're trying to make the most of those.
Our maximum fare going forward is going to be £69 each way. We're selling it through a yield management system, and we've made a commitment that 60% of our fares will be £30.
The timing of it is coincidental. It's something that we realised that people were looking at in our customer research. People do want to have greener options. The problem is for a lot of green options, either you're being greenwashed, which is just terrifying, so you as a consumer lose faith, or alternatively you pay more for them, you pay a premium. That's not fair. So the thing that we've tried to do is we try to neutralise this thing that to do the right thing you have to pay more, when you shouldn't have to do that, and actually put that together so it's available for everyone. So if you think forward 5 or 6 years, we should be in a situation generally where the green issue no longer exists. Of course it is. We're just slightly ahead of that in our thinking, because what we're trying to do is create a service which will actually have that from the beginning built into it. Now our role now is going up and down the whole of the supply chain and looking at every particular angle in detail to understand what else we need to do differently. And it's like managing our waste, it's about managing our food, so 50% of it's plant-based to reduce the impact. It's looking at our uniforms, it's looking at our HQ to make sure it's BREEAM certified in terms of how that operates, and going for every single detail of wherever we possibly can to make those changes. And we're all going to have to do that in business, all of us, because it's going to be required by law fairly shortly. So why would you set up a company and not have that at the heart of what you want to do? Because actually it's what we all need to do, it's a collective need, and we might as well set it up like that from the beginning. Actually what makes the difference to any service is the people. So you can have beautiful trains, but if the service is rubbish, that's what you'll get remembered for. So what we did was we've been out to the market and we have very carefully recruited a set of drivers, as customer drivers, and they've got the word customer in their title, 50% of whom are coming on an apprenticeship. We have spent the time showing them how to use IT, so there's no paper at all in our organisation other than the international driving licence, which comes on a piece of paper. And we've effectively retrained everybody to use the technology so that actually they can focus on what they're doing in a much more efficient way. And they seem to be enjoying that as well, which is great. And then the ambassadors, really we wanted to move on from the concept of guards. So we know from our research that actually quite a few people when they travel, about between 20 and 30% are really, really stressed because they're not in control, they're anxious, they don't know where they are, they're worried about getting off in time, leaving their stuff and so on. So what we've done is we've built the ambassador service on getting a better level of customer service to people at their seats. Looking at all the little touches about how we do that. Everybody's on an apprenticeship, a customer experience apprenticeship as part of this, which is equivalent of an A level. So we're making sure people really know how to handle this. And actually, virtually everybody who's joined us as an ambassador, with the exception of 7% of them, have come from outside the industry, because actually there's loads of great people in hospitality who do this well already. There's lots of people on the airlines who want to stop being on the airlines and come and join us. So we've got lots of ex-airline workers come on board, and we've also got a lot of people from retail because again they've got those skills. So from our perspective, we've harvested from 700 people who applied for the roles, 50 people who really want to do this job and are really, really customer focused, looking for a career in rail and looking for the opportunity to do that really, really well for the customers. So we've invested an awful lot of money in IT, only over £15 million, and that's on laying a layer on top of the industry system so that we can actually make sure that we can do customer relationship management, we can have a website that we can feed information to and from, and we can be dynamic in what we're doing. So that gives you that interface, and all our marketing runs from that digital interface. That's a big part of our investment. It means rather than just broadcast, I can do one-to-one marketing to people as I start to know them, and I can build out relationships. And on top of that, we've invested in the brand. So you can see that from the type of advertising that we've done. We've put ourselves at the airports, we put ourselves on bridges, and we're trying to make sure that we're building up that whole head of steam around how things might be done differently and setting out our proposition in that way. So that's a big part of competing with the airlines, because the airlines are big spenders in terms of advertising, and we are building up a cost-effective way of doing that so we can take them on.
Basically, where we've taken the engines out of the train, we've replaced them with extra batteries to balance the weight up. That gives us auxiliary power, we think, for up to 4 hours. So the first weekend of engineering we've got, there's a Lincoln diversion. We will run a train from Scotland. It will connect with a strengthened hull train at Doncaster and take people on their onward journey. But again, we're looking to use our website to have a relationship with people so we can understand what they need and where they are with engineering works and weekends.
The drivers do a fantastic job, and sitting up there in the cab, actually we want them to connect with their customers, and we also know it builds confidence and it makes people relax if they know who's driving the train, if they hear a bit about what's going on, because they're in control. So actually, in the way that airline pilots give that confidence level, we want our drivers to do the same thing, and we call them customer drivers deliberately for that reason, so that we have that interaction with the customers, because they're absolutely vital to the service we offer. And I hope they're enjoying it as well.
We're launching with 2 return services a day from Monday, so 4 services in total. Later in the year we'll increase that to 6, and then early next year we'll be at our full operation, which is 5 return services a day, 10 services in total. That gives us a great opportunity to bed the service in, to kind of lift up the interest, lift up the demand, test some of the things that we're bringing to market for the first time, some of these proof of concepts, which are very exciting. We're glad to be bringing them in. We're in a 10-year track access agreement effectively, so this service will build and will grow. You'll very rarely hear us describe ourselves as a train operating company. We are a train operating company, but we're a lifestyle brand, and that's what we're bringing to the service. We want people to want to travel with Lumo, belong to Lumo, understand what Lumo means as a concept, particularly around our green credentials, so that people can sit back and know they've chosen the greenest way of travel. We're lucky we're serving some iconic destinations: London, Edinburgh, Newcastle, Morpeth for Northumberland, whether it be for staycation or travel or city breaks, etc. Lots of reasons to get to those locations, particularly after the last year and a half that everybody's had. So actually, we do want to attract people for the first time, but we need to give them a reason to travel again and again and again. And we think the customer experience that we offer on board for our ambassadorial team and our customer drivers will really help with that as well, and give people confidence to travel with us and know that actually I'm aligned with how Lumo operates. I think green, I think environmentally sustainably as well, and hence people can travel with us with confidence. We're a commercial operator, so to be successful we need to have bums on seats effectively. We need to have tickets being sold. So we're looking very, very closely at what our competitors are doing from a pricing perspective. Equally, they will be looking at us as well. So we're working really, really hard to attract customers initially, but maintain them as well. And that's where the brand and the loyalty we're hoping to develop and grow and gain will help us be successful in the future.
My name is James, and it's my pleasure to be your driver today. Also in the cab with me today is my colleague Derek. We are currently on the approach to the Northumberland town of Morpeth. We will then follow the coastline into Scotland and arrive into Edinburgh Waverley station approximately 15:17. The weather forecast for Edinburgh is currently a cool 9 degrees. All that leads me to say it's our pleasure to have you on board our service today. Please sit back, relax and travel well with Lumo. Thank you.